We are not doing our regular scheduled program today. We had a no show. Unfortunately, we were excited. We were excited to talk with our buddy Jason Lester. He was unfortunately not available, or we understand life happens. Life happens. So no big deal. We'll reschedule him. We're interested in that conversation. So episode 42, we're shooting from the hip. We have nothing. We have no rainy day plan today. But one thing that we're not going to do is we're not going to compromise. We're going to keep doing shows. We're going to keep this thing going no matter what. So today we're shooting from the hip. And today, today we move on. Our good friend and employee, Skye King, he has found a great opportunity for him that he's excited about, and he's no longer with us. We're going to drop a special edition of Putting You in Your Place. It'll be on YouTube as soon as we can get it edited and trimmed up and uploaded. It'll be exclusively on YouTube. So if you're not on YouTube and you're not subscribed to our channel on YouTube, please go over there and subscribe to that so you can watch mine and Skye's show where we talk about, our history and we talk about our relationship and we talk about his future and his excitement for it and our excitement for him. And so today things are looking a little different. I'm on a different side of the table. We have Weston behind the controls, so Weston, thanks for jumping in there and kind of filling the gap here between Skye and our next person that we hire. And, we're just going to keep this thing going, man. So
yeah, not a problem. I'm excited for it.
Cool. All right. So maybe we just give a few minutes to Skye. To tell Skye what he means, we do this in the special edition, but now this is like a real show and this is live, and we just want this to be, a moment maybe where we talk about, what we enjoyed with Skye and what he was able to help us do and things like that. So I'll get it started. For me, Skye is the guy that I was able to kind of collaborate with and a guy that would jump if I said, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and he would help me get things like this accomplished. I had the ideas, I had the capital, I had the vision, and I had him to really collaborate with to build what I was trying to build. He set up three different studios here in the office, in three different spaces, and he really kind of helped me. He helped kind of focus me and ground me, and I wouldn't say ground me. I would say keep me closer to the ground than I was prior to us deciding to do this. So if the takeaway, my takeaway with Skye is. He'll always have a special place in my heart. He will always get, all the support and love. And I'm going to be his biggest cheerleader as he moves on in the world. And I wish him nothing but the best. So that's my thing with Skye. Weston, what did he, tell us about how you and him kind of collaborated and like, how that went.
It was pretty interesting. It was pretty cool. Like Skye and myself sort of like, I don't know. It's like places where I fell short in ideas that he sort of made up for.
Yeah.
So it was a really good like collaborative effort between like me saying like, I guess for example, it's like when we were starting to figure out the micro content stuff, helping him figure things out. Like how to turn things from like a long form into a short form and what would do better on different social medias. And then he would spit out ideas. It's like, well, what if we made it look like this? Or what if we made it look like this? And I was like, well, I've never thought about it that way. I've always looked at it from more of like a numbers standpoint instead of like I guess like a create. Well, I wouldn't say non-creative, but I don't know. He would figure out like ways to make it look better on social media than things that I probably would have missed. So it was pretty cool. Like I think we worked really well together.
Yeah.
On collaborating on ideas and things like that.
I think his one of his biggest strong points was documenting the processes, documenting and being thought. I think his level, one of the major components of his personality that I really liked was his thoughtfulness. He was very thoughtful in the things that he did and the things that he said and how he kind of navigated. And people really, I think naturally gravitated toward him. I think if you looked at his social circle, he would have a huge influence in his social circle. I think.
Yeah, most definitely. And like on terms of like how his thoughtfulness played out, like when I was looking at the Trello board this morning for last week for how to get the stream set up, I mean, there was like 112 different points on the Trello board, like things to check off. And I mean, like all in all, it probably would take someone maybe like half an hour to get through all of them. But it was just like the thoughtfulness, just making sure like shutter speeds are correct on cameras, making sure the ISO on cameras are great, making sure all the lighting's on, TVs are set up the right way, how to go live on Facebook, how to go live on YouTube, all that sort of stuff. So it was actually like, it was very helpful.
Yeah. I mean, he really broke it down. He would really break it down like if you've never done it before. And like he wouldn't assume that you just knew what you should know, and I like that. I do some of that, but I don't ever do that like in written form. Like I try to explain things like when I'm in a real estate situation, and I just assume that you're probably a first-time home buyer or you've never like I come into the scenario with like you probably don't know much about trying to buy a house. So like I'll try to break it down step by step by step by step. And I think as often as I would see him try to do that helped me like soften some of the things that I might have said, prior to my relationship with him, because now I'm more aware of empathy and I'm more aware of like the care that probably needs to be, instead of just like bulldozing like this is how it's done and that's how you do it and go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I mean, that also goes back to like that old saying where they're like, whoever's in your like immediate circle is who you start to become like. That's why they always tell you like to hang out with like smart, like well-rounded people.
Yeah.
And not like, I don't know, people that you don't want to be like, I guess,
Right.
and putting it in a nicer terms.
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely like rubbed off on me a lot too.
Cool.
Which was really cool.
Well, everybody leaves eventually. My philosophy on life right now, being 38 years old and having gone through building this business and just having gone through failed relationships. I see all the good. I try to find good in all the turbulence and all the negative. Like I'm trying to find the light in the darkness, And there's too many people out there trying to find the sun in the rain. There's like the majority of your life's going to be a struggle, And these relationships, 5 years ago me could not have handled this. 5 years ago, I would have been 41 episodes deep. I would have been hundreds of thousands of dollars and years of my time in life. And to have a guy like Skye leave me then, I wouldn't have known how to handle it.
Yeah.
I would have been like really about me. I'd have been really about me of like, oh, like how could you do that? How could you leave me now? Like all this stuff, like, so like I got to give myself credit that I'm able to like cheer him on and like I've evolved as a person. And he's had an influence on that, so.
Yeah.
And I hope he gets to watch this. I hope he stays like paying attention. I hope he stays engaging with us. And like I said, any support, any advice, at any time. This is this is just to let you know. I'll speak directly to you, Skye. This is to let you know that if you need anything, if I can help, don't hesitate to call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So, so what's going on in your life? What I know you just bought a car. Tell us about this. Tell us about this car you're passionate about.
So I just bought a 2018 Championship White Type R. It's a Honda Civic, I guess, at its core. But I don't know. I kind of like fell in love with that car back in 2017 when it came out. Because when I was in high school, I was looking for my first car, and I was a car guy, so I wanted to look for something kind of fun and sporty that I would have fun with. So I bought an SI, and then I fell in love with that car because it was just a really like well-rounded car. I guess for any car people out there, it was 2008 Civic Si. So it was like the year right before they went to a bigger motor, to the 2.4. But yeah, and so I sort of started turning into this Honda guy like towards the end of high school when I bought that car, and like into college. And I guess it was right around that time when the Type R came out, and I started doing like some of the history and stuff. And Honda has a really cool, I'm really into Japanese culture. So Honda has a really rich like culture in Japan, because they're small cars, they're pretty quick, and in Japan there's not a lot of like straight roads like there are here in America. So, and they were really cheap too, so a lot of people went to buy those cars, and it's sort of where the Type R like became its thing.
Yeah.
And then they started making their way. I guess technically they didn't really make their way into America right off the bat, because they're not like technically legal here in the United States due to like some emission rules. So I guess it wasn't until a few years, because there's a 25-year law. So it wasn't until a few years ago when I saw my first Integra Type R down in Charlotte, and that's sort of where I started learning about like the championship, what the Championship White Type R meant to the Integra, and with the red interior and stuff like that, which is exactly what the car is outside, is a Championship White Type R. And I guess technically, I was doing some looking into it, that car outside has the same motor. It's still a K20 that was in my last car. It's a lot more modified though, and a lot newer, I guess. So it's a little more refined than the last one. But the last one was still like that series of motors, so like a go-to like 4-cylinder drag strip motor.
Yeah.
So a lot of people put them into everything for the most part. And yeah, I just I like the way it looked. I like how fast it was. It's just a really well-rounded car. So it got to, I'd been saving. I was sort of torn between like buying a house and a car, or a new car. And because I was getting towards the time of me needing a new car, I wanted something a little more mature, something that had way less miles. I think my last car had 180,000 when I traded it in. So it was getting right up there for a Honda. And I looked at my bank account, and I was like, okay, I could put a down payment on a house, or I could go and buy a car. And so I started looking on the market, and the real estate market's been crazy, and there's like hardly anything, especially for someone looking for their first house.
Yeah.
And an affordable price range. So I was like, okay, house is out of the option. So I talked to my parents about it, and they were like, we're not kicking you out anytime soon. So they were like, if you want the car that you've always wanted, and you have the money for it, just go and buy it. So that's what I did. And I looked it up online, and I found the one I wanted in Winston-Salem, which was about a 2-hour drive from here. So it's pretty close. And yeah, so
I think that's a pretty cool story. You went after your dreams. You've had this car in your mind for a long time. I'm proud of you for jumping. I'm proud of you for jumping. I love your plan of, get this car. You got a couple of more years. You got your eye on a community here in Blacksburg. We've talked strategy around that, and I think if you can, me and you keep climbing and get this YouTube channel monetized and do all the things that we're capable of, or that we feel like we're capable of, and that we're passionate about. I think we both have. I think we collaborate well together. I think we will figure this puzzle out. I think if we're together long enough, that we will be the Joe Rogan of the New River Valley.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So this is an interesting thing that our podcast is really becoming is a category or a catalog of people you could turn to when you need things. You know, and Weston is he has a really big passion for car photography, and I know there's car clubs around here. You know, and I'm thinking of like my buddy Alan Johnson. You know, AJ is a lifelong friend of mine. You know, we're kind of going through it right now. We've got some difference of opinion, but Weston here is a great photographer. And he loves cars, and AJ is a car enthusiast. He's a Mini Cooper, believe it or not. He likes the Mini Cooper brand, and he's got a Mini, and he's developed this big car club. And I bet you could get a paid gig through them to come and do photography and things for that club.
Oh, is it the it's like the minis of the New River Valley or something?
That's his group.
Something like that.
That's his
yeah,
group.
that's a really big group around here.
Yeah.
I didn't. He's the one that started
He
that?
started it and developed it and still runs it.
Wow, that's actually really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know like around here, car photography is kind of hard here. Sort of, pretty much all I photograph is a couple people that I know, and then like all of my friends' cars.
Yeah.
I don't really. And then if I want to photograph other things, I have to travel to like Charlotte or something.
I don't think this community knows they need that service. You know what I mean? Like, it would be cool to be documenting every rally that they do, you know, and they should, you know, if they got a guy that they know and they trust, which is what we're developing here. You know, you've been on probably a dozen of these things now. So like people know who you are through this, but I don't know that they knew that you could, you know, you had a passion for car photography and could, I think there's a Porsche club. I think there's some clubs here we don't know about that, you know, if they knew about you and they knew about the availability of you being able to do that photography of their events, you would get work, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, I know there's like the, I don't really go to it anymore, but there was the car club at Virginia Tech. But that one's sort of like an off and on kind of deal. It's like it only happens when school is in session during the semester, and if they're even open because of like COVID and that kind of stuff. So it's like if the school doesn't shut it down. So
I guess the biggest problem is that the people that want to do this don't have enough work to survive on that being the only thing that they do. Right.
And that's why I wanted to talk to Jason, because he has his own like photography studio. So I wanted to like how did you turn into like this bigger photographer here in the area?
Yeah. You know, the title of this show today was going to be how to become the local photographer. And we're definitely going to pocket this and invite him back. You know, I'm sure there's some miscommunication. Like I said, life, who knows what's going on. So like 5 years ago, me, super pissed. Today, I'm understanding and like we know things happen and who knows what's going on. So we hope Jason's okay and everything's good, and we'll pocket this show for a time that we have an open slot for, and we just keep rolling.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So searching for topics to kind of talk about.
I guess like talk about like all your closings. I know we have like a lot of closings coming up here soon.
Okay. Really do a little real estate update.
Yeah.
Real estate update. Okay. Well, it is absolutely insane what's going on in the real estate world right now. I'll just tell you a story, and this is a devastating story. Okay. I have this great couple. They can afford a good amount of money on a house. We went to a house. It's in the Reiner School District. They listed the house at $425,000. It was 6 acres, just a perfect spot for my clients. We put in an offer. Remember, the listing price was $425,000. We put in an offer at $480,000, and we lost.
Wow.
In Reiner, in Dry Valley, off of Childress Road. That's nuts, man. They had 8 offers on the deal. They had a cash deal. They took a cash deal for less money because they can close in 2 weeks.
Wait, so are we talking about like the neighborhood where like that golf club or that golf course is, or?
It's close to Auburn. It's close to Auburn Hills, but not really.
Okay, I gotcha.
I mean, it's within a few miles of it, but it's not like in sight. It's not like in sight of that golf course. So like that's the $425,000 listing, 8 offers. My clients went 480 on a $425,000 listing, and they lost. It's truly famine for anybody working with buyers right now. I posted a TikTok. There was a trending TikTok about trades. I got a TikTok on my page that says, "I'll trade you 7 buyers for 1 seller," and that's literally what I just experienced. We had 8 different offers, and 1 of them got picked. The seller gets to eat good. The seller's agent gets to eat good. The one buyer's agent that had the cash buyer that closes in 2 weeks, they get to eat good. That's not the majority of the people in the New River Valley. They don't have $450,000 to pay cash on a house. That's way above median. So that is the war story of a buyer in the New River Valley right now. And it's just the wildest thing I've ever seen. Wild.
That's actually like really insane. I can't see. Now it goes back to my point of like that's why I bought the car instead of the house. I can't compete with someone who could do that.
Yeah.
Like and there's no like low income housing here like as of yet. I mean they're working on it, and
yeah.
I've seen that happen.
And you're pretty adamant. You're pretty adamant about staying in Blacksburg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Like you're really priced out right now.
Yeah, extremely. Because I think in Blacksburg, if I had to take a guess, the cheapest house that I've seen lately is like probably in the mid 300s. I think.
I think the
unless you go for like a condo, which is not really what I'm looking for because I am a car guy, so I'm looking for something with a garage.
Yeah.
Or at least a covered space for me to like work in in my free time.
Well, dude, we'll monetize this channel and we'll just get back-to-back places in Midtown.
that would be awesome. Oh wait, so like the Midtown house. Oop, I didn't mean to hit that. Did the Midtown houses have garages in them or like the townhouses? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wait, okay.
So the back side is going to be the garage, and then you're going to have that little front living area, and then you're going to have 3 levels going up.
Right, yeah, like the townhouses that I was looking at that are being built in that West Hill development over on Price's Fort. Yeah. That's how their townhouses are. But I don't actually think there's a living area behind the garage.
Gotcha.
So I think it's just like the bottom floor is just a garage and storage space, and then you live above it.
I think that's a branding opportunity. Weston in West Hill.
That would be pretty funny. I mean, like, honestly, I kind of like it too because the road that I used to live on in upstate New York was called West Hill. So I was sort of like, it's in Blacksburg. It's supposed to be affordable. I'm just kind of like, it seems like the right opportunity for me.
Yeah.
So a lot of signs pointing towards a yes.
What else is going on in our community? I mean, we were a little delayed getting that Tanya Hockett video up on YouTube, but it's doing really well. If you guys missed last week, we as a community, I keep saying this too, like the New River Valley needs to wake up. We have a primary election for the GOP candidate for the 7th district coming up on the 24th, I believe. It's the 24th or 26th. I can't remember. And that's just how disconnected I am. Hit this camera real quick. Yeah. So we got a camera here too, like that has a 30-minute timer and kind of shuts off on us. And we got to manually get up here and turn it off and on. So it's kind of going out to, some of that equipment with Skye. So we kind of got to make some adjustments here as he moves on to reboot our equipment and, have our own stuff here as we move forward. But yeah, I just feel like there's a primary coming up on a key state legislative seat. And we all need to know that, there's 3 candidates and we need to know where they stand. And, if you follow me on social media, you kind of know where I stand. Hopefully I'm the megaphone. That's what I want to be. I want to be the megaphone of like getting people to think, think about things, and and we can just talk about some of the turbulence that comes down my social media. And I want to hear what you think about it. As far as my brand and as far as like who I am and what I'm trying to accomplish, I'm going to accomplish everything that I want to accomplish by being me, not by being what you want me to be. And sometimes the posts I make, they get reactions. They get reactions, and they get people feeling a certain way, and we have a conversation, and sometimes I purposely put stuff up that is intended to make you feel a certain way, not just my opinion, but to make you feel a certain way. So there's strategy behind that. There's intent behind that. And I know what I'm doing for the most part. But Weston, tell me how you feel when you see what I'm doing and how you fear what might come of it with the goals we have.
Well, I mean, so when I first started here, I was sort of like, man, I kind of wish that he wouldn't do that. But then it sort of turned into this is who he is. Just let him do his thing. But I mean, that fear is still like in the back of my head because you see it happen with politicians all the time.
Yeah.
Where they might tweet out something dumb like several years ago, and it comes back to bite them later. So it's sort of like, and cancel culture is a huge thing right now. So like, if they can find anything on you that you did in your past, a lot of what you've started doing though is putting stuff on your stories. So that stuff is there, and then it's gone, and it's no big deal after that. It's more of the things that are permanent, like tweets, timeline posts, and things like that I get worried about sometimes. But it's sort of, I don't know. I guess when it happens, or some sort of like cancel culture thing comes after your brand, I guess we'll just sort of deal with it when the time comes. But I mean, for the most part, I think a lot of what you post too is a lot of like reposting of things that other people have said. So it's sort of like, you're saying it, but it's not all you. It's someone else saying it. So it's not, they could pin it on you later. It's like, oh, well, you thought this about this event. And then, so I'm not like as worried about it anymore, but it is kind of interesting to wake up, come into work, and like just look at all the notifications that came through and like all the messages that blow up on Facebook and things like that. So I would say it's interesting, but I'm a little fearful for the future, but not as much as I was in the beginning, I guess.
Yeah. Because I think I've opened up to you. You kind of see the genuine side of me. You get to be around me, and we can have a conversation, about what I was thinking when I did what I was thinking. So too many times, and like I said, one of my good relationships, one of my good friends, our relationship is in not such a great place because of something that I put up. And if there was a conversation around that, if there was context on that other than, hey man, you're reckless and I'm done with you, maybe we would have not been where we are right now. But that goes back to, I'm going to succeed and do the things in my life that are me. I'm going to succeed because of me. I'm going to fail because of me. I'm going to own it all. And I realize at this stage of my life that everybody's going to leave. Everybody's, there's going to be a moment in our life that relationship's over, or we move on to, life. Life takes us in different directions. Mm-hmm. So I'm not devastated. I'm not super devastated when that type of thing happens. And I think this relationship is strong enough that, it's going to come back at some point, and I'm always going to be open to it. I'm not the one that's ever going to be so resentful over something then I'm not gonna open back up to somebody that I cared for and I loved, and their family means a lot to me. I'm just never gonna shut down on anybody like that. So anyway, that's that's kind of my thought process. That's kind of like that's given everybody a little bit of a deep dive into my head, and kind of like where I am mentally, and how how I've been able to navigate this whole thing. If I wasn't strong-minded, if I wasn't as strong-minded as I am, there's no way I would have gotten to real estate in 2008, and there's no way I would put myself in front of this camera and jeopardize all the work that I've done, because every week we expose ourselves. We open ourselves up to criticism, and we open ourselves up to the opportunity to be looked at negatively. But that's not my intention. I'm confident enough to step out here and try to do the things that I want to do to achieve the goals that I have. So I hope that's inspiring. I hope that is inspiring.
Yeah. Oh, that voting date is the 24th.
Okay, good. So I had it right.
Yep.
Wasn't confident, but I had it right. So Montgomery County, Pulaski County, Floyd County, the 7th district primary is the 24th. You have 3 candidates to choose from. We've put our opinions on the social media. You can go down my timeline and see who I support. I support anti-establishment candidates that are pro-freedom and pro-life, and don't want to take freedoms away. Pretty much, that's who I support, and that's across the board. And I don't like you. I don't dislike you for any reason. I don't like you for any reason other than the things you stand for, and that's the bottom line for me.
Yeah. Oh, back to like what I think about like the social media thing. I wanted to throw this out there. I don't, until you start posting something where you like wish ill will on some, I don't think you ever would.
Yeah.
And it's not your character to do that. But usually I don't like comment on anything until you start wishing like ill will on someone, or just negative things, and like things that would be violent.
I mean, even name calling. I don't name call. I just put out my thoughts and feelings on a topic, and we have a debate. Like, there are those people that want to come at you personally and start digging into who you are and not what the topic is. And that's where the debate kind of can go sideways.
Yeah. So like for me, it's like you can pretty much say whatever you want, and I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, that's him, and then I do things my way, and it's not until it starts being like, oh, that's kind of dicey, probably don't want to say that towards someone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and it's an interesting dynamic in the organization, right? So like, back to Skye, like we differed. We had dissenting opinions on things, and we just looked at life a lot differently, and that's okay. But we always had civil conversations. It was thoughtful, and those are the debates I would love to. I like to be challenged. It gives me an opportunity to have this conversation. I'm not a run from the challenge kind of guy. I'm like, get closer to the challenge kind of guy. So like when people have problems with me, I go right to them. I go right to them. I want to have a conversation. Now, if they're too angry with me, that's 95% of it. Is, hey, let's talk about it. Nope, I'm done. Like, I'm too angry to come. I don't have it in me to talk to you right now. Like, those are the conversations, when there's been really like big backlash and someone's been really hurt by some of the things that I might have put out or I might have said, and they thought a certain way about me because of that. That was nothing that couldn't have been solved with a little bit of a conversation to know what my perspective was and what my thinking was. And if I was wrong, they could tell me how they feel about the situation. And if they had a great point to make and it made sense to me, and it wasn't some talking point that you hear from, the whole chain of command, then I'm open to it. If you can give me a real life example of a situation that you disagree with me on and that I can feel, then I'm with it. I'm with it. But if I think you've been duped, if I think you've been programmed in some way, if I think that you are just taking what you've been fed and regurgitating that, I'm calling that out every time. Every time I'm calling that out. So.
Yeah, but I just wanted to throw that out there because I was like,
well, I appreciate
that.
that.
Yeah. I was just like, that's sort of where I draw the line when it comes to that sort of
and
stuff.
that'll never be me.
Yeah,
I certainly hope not. I don't think that's in me because, again, back to the empathy thing. If somebody wants to come and like come in my inbox and start threatening me and like start like talking like crazy to me about this stuff, like they're gonna harm me, that's more honestly, they don't want none of that. And two, like like they must be going through something. They must be going through something, and I empathize with that, and I honestly, I'll agree with them. Like if they're that mad, I'll be like, you know what, noted. Like all right, I hear what you're saying. I'm not gonna like, hey, I'll take that back. I won't agree with them. I'll acknowledge that they feel that way. And so a lot of my language is, hey, sorry you feel that way. It's not sorry that I did that. It's sorry that you feel that way about the things that I think and the things that I say. It's not, oh, let me change my mind because you're angry with me. It's, I'm sorry that caused that reaction. That's not my intent. I'm never going to intend to cause you an angry reaction 95% of the time. Mm-hmm. There might be a time where I'm looking for some angry reaction because there's some things that we need to be angry about. But the majority of the time it's not like that. And I'm just trying to, and you said I repurpose content. And the reason why I repurpose content is because that's not something that I should say, but it's something that people should hear.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So that's the reason why you see a lot of my stories coming down from people of color saying the things that I feel like are right, because other people of color need to be in tune and they need to hear a different side of things. And I think TikTok is such a blessing because of that type of thing. It gets us content in a way that hasn't really delivered to the masses and has really gotten hold of our culture. I mean, TikTok is like here to stay, in my opinion.
I mean, talk about a platform that came at like the right time too, because it's like, I thought it was kind of funny that someone put it this way. They were saying that there's like the old saying, there's like a picture's 1,000 words, and now you have TikTok, a platform that's like you put 60 pictures in 1 second, and then it's like a 60-second long video. Yeah, that's a lot that you can communicate to someone, like through facial expressions of like if you just pause the video, all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? And then like it sort of blew up in a time where everyone had a lot of free time. All of the sudden, like just the whole world in general, like when everyone shut down at whatever point during the pandemic that they did. So you just saw like a lot of differing opinions and different like lifestyles come out through TikTok. I just thought that was one of the, I almost want to say it's like one of the craziest cultural shocks that I've seen. Like from reading history books and things like that, just like for the modern era. Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, we all need to look back at history. We all need to know what happened in history so it doesn't repeat. And it's wild. It's wild what we're going through here, and completely amazing. So we did it. We did it. I mean, we made a pretty decent show, I think. Shoot from the hip here. Just so you get practice, is there a way to bring up my TikTok like we talked about prior to the show and just play, like go to my page and see my favorites and just play a couple of appropriate favorites from like Chris Crone or Kanye. Like there's a Kanye one I saved last night that was really good. I'd like to just play some of that in our show just to kind of end it. We'll do some like kind of reaction type stuff. and
Just
kind of end it from there.
give me 1 second because I have to log into your TikTok account
Gotcha.
on the computer, but I should just be able to do it this way. Wait, hold on. Give me a second.
This is one of those shoot from the hip situations for sure.
Well, I'm on my Chrome account, so I'm trying to. Well, first off, I have to remember how to do it. There we go. So now it should log me in to your account.
How many? Do we have any comments on the thing, or do we have anybody watching currently?
Yeah, we got several viewers across both platforms.
Cool.
Mary Cole said, "Hey Scott."
Hey Mary. Thanks for watching.
Oh, William Keel just commented something. He said, first of all, they don't want the smoke. Second of all, I pity the fool.
Yeah, Will knows.
Thought I might disagree with your conclusion sometimes. I appreciate your process. However, aren't we all programmed through our information channels in one form or another?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a long comment. You might want to go on your Facebook and read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Here, you do that while I work on.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll
account.
reply to that.
Let's see. How do I look at? Ooh, wait. Can I not do it from desktop? I might not be able to look at your bookmarks from desktop.
You can't see my saved.
Hold on. Let's see. How do I look at? What in the world? I can look at your liked, but I can't look at your bookmarked.
I can't see the comments from mobile.
Really?
Not without bringing the show up, I don't think.
Oh yeah, just mute your phone and then try and bring it up. I can look at your liked. I can't pull up your bookmark stuff on desktop.
Gotcha.
Desktop TikTok still has a lot of catching up to do to mobile.
Will, if you're still watching, on your comment, man, I really appreciate you watching. We are somewhat programmed, and some are able to break out of that programming, and some of them aren't. Some of them are not capable of getting out of the matrix, in my opinion, and they just keep, Kanye has this clip I've got saved on TikTok, and he says that the victimization of our culture has really limited our opportunities because we are soft. We are soft. This culture is soft. Hard men have created good times, and good times have now created soft men. And
that is so true.
And we are in that cycle. Joe Rogan said it. Probably a week ago. I think there was a clip come through that he was saying just that, and it is 100% true. So we are headed as a culture for some hard times. So now the cycle begins again. Who's ready? Who's capable? And who's willing to fight the good fight to create these good times again? And I stand up and raise my hand that I'm ready. I'm ready to do that. I'm financially prepared. With the assets I've collected, I can weather storms. I've got a good business. I got a good team around me. And I feel like, even when times get tough, and they've gotten tough, but that was one spoke. That was one spoke of the wheel. It's not every spoke. So always appreciate your support, Will. And that's my answer is that, we have to have people wake up. That's a big theme of this show is trying to have me wake people up and be this megaphone for our area. So I guess that's a good little spot to end. Unless you got anything else, Weston, you want to talk about? I think that was a good 50 minutes or so.
Yeah, we're at about 48 minutes.
Yeah.
The only other thing I could think about is if you want to talk about any sort of investing, because I know we both do a little bit of investing in the stock market on the side and stuff
Well,
like that?
you know, I just bought a duplex here in Blacksburg about a month ago, about 3 months ago now. I have a hard time keeping up with how the time just flies.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe Skye was here for 3 years. You know, like that's unbelievable. So I bought a duplex a couple months ago, getting ready to buy a property in Christiansburg or crafting an offer. So like pretty much all my expendable income is going toward leveraging real estate. You know, I'm a real estate guy that's actually in real estate, you know, and like I believe in the product that I sell. I believe it's going to lead to, you know, some health and wellness, you know, opportunity. It's just going to keep me secure. I'm going to have tangible assets that's local, and like shoot, if I had to, I could go live in one of them, you know, if I had to. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. What do you got going on? What do you got your eye on right now?
Well, I guess I took a little bit of a break from stock market because it was sort of like dipping, and I was kind of tired of looking at my account in the red.
Yeah.
So I mean, all I really have been doing is so I've started looking at more stocks that have to do with monthly dividend payments instead of quarterly.
Definitely.
So I have that going on. I've bought a lot of shares in some of those companies. I removed some of my stocks into more real estate, sort of like is it RETIs or REITs? I think it's REITs.
Yeah, REITs. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've moved some of my stocks into those kind of companies that are on the New York Stock Exchange. To sort of help balance out the, I guess, sort of like the fall that I've seen in like the tech industry on the stock market.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just keep investing like my dividends back into like cryptocurrencies and things to try to keep that going up because that's sort of like balancing my portfolio back out.
That's your hedge.
Yeah, pretty much. So like I was like I'm not an early investor in Litecoin, but I bought it in like a huge dip. I think I bought it at like $90 a coin, and I bought like 3 or 4 of them, and I think they're worth like $200 a coin now. So that's sort of like my biggest like
that's your biggest
hedge.
gainer.
Yeah towards like all the other stocks that I'm invested in.
Yeah, I got to do something. I mean, everybody needs to get educated on the blockchain and some sort of cryptocurrency. It's pretty much inevitable. It's pretty much at this point it just all plays out. There's nothing that's going to stop it. You know, U.S., Russia, China, they're not going to stop it.
Yeah. Actually, I was looking at building my own like crypto miner a while ago, but I mean, computer parts are really hard to find right now because of like production issues. And originally, I was looking at mining Ethereum because that's a pretty profitable coin right now. But they're switching to a proof of stake method instead of a proof of work. So like a proof of work is like your computer mines a certain amount. That's like proof of work, right? And then you get whatever's the return on that pool that you helped mine in. If you think of it sort of like a collaborative effort, you get your share. And now they're going to do a proof of stake. So it's like you have to put up your like a certain amount of like Ethereum coin. And then it sort of is like a lotto. So it's like if you put up the most, you have a higher chance of being able to mine it. So you can essentially do it with something like your phone that doesn't have, well, I mean, phones have a lot of processing power, but compared to a mining rig, they don't.
Yeah.
So you could mine it with something like your phone or like your laptop or something. But that's like the solution. But like in order to do that, you already have to have a lot. So I'm back to square one where it's like, okay, do I really want to build one of these machines? Because like you said, crypto is the future. And if you can have the thing that literally makes it, like, I feel like that's like having the shovel during the gold rush.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
We want to be the shovel supplier in the gold rush.
Yeah, for sure. So that's sort of where I've been at with like crypto though.
Yeah, I have not entered that game. I've got my blockchain account. I'm looking at it. I'm not even put my toe in the sand really on like, that's the one I'm looking at. Like realistically, I want to buy Dogecoin.
I'm kind of wary on Dogecoin, and the only reason is Dogecoin is like fully community fed. There's no way to like make it other than it's like a pyramid scheme. Like the earlier you are in on it, the more you'll make, but that requires other people having to be in on it. Whereas like a normal cryptocurrency, it's like doing something for the blockchain, whereas Dogecoin's just sort of there, and you can invest in it. I find it weird that it's on Robinhood too, because of that very reason.
Yeah,
it's a cool coin though.
I mean,
I
like the ones that were meant to be a joke and actually become something. I relate to that.
Well, I mean, you take like the biggest Twitter person on the platform, Elon Musk, and they tweet like, "I'm buying Dogecoin." I mean, he's got how many followers? Like in the 80 millions range, something like that. Maybe more now, but. And then he's like, "I'm buying Dogecoin," and everyone's like, "Well, that's a community fed coin." So if someone who has 80 million followers is tweeting about a coin that they want to buy, that's like, if you go back to my 10% rule, that's a lot of people buying Dogecoin.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, that's a good episode 42. Next week, if everything goes well, we got George Beamer. Is that it?
Yep.
From Beamer Solutions and Pressure Washing. He runs a business, a little small maintenance and small work jobs and junk removal. Again, like the community is coming. They want to be a part of this thing. I appreciate that. We're going to keep doing it no matter what. It doesn't matter if the next 5 people don't show up. We will find a way to have a conversation. We're going to come live 2 p.m. Tuesdays. Be on the lookout for that special edition with Skye. If you wanna see our conversation, the moments we had in that show, they're really good. So you'll get to kind of know him a little bit more in our history, and we take you all the way back to episode 1 of Putting You in Your Place. So. It was a pretty, if no one ever watches it, I'm okay with it, because that show was more for me anyway. That was something I just wanted to document with him, just so I could say that I had it. But we hope you enjoy it, and go over to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and comment and like and share away. We really appreciate it. What's our subscriber count now? We're up at like
236. 236.
We want to get to 250. By the end of May. We want to get to 250 by the end of May. So any support there would be greatly appreciated. And if you do subscribe, send me a message that you subscribed. I'd like to say thank you directly to you. So I appreciate it. And until next time.